Erick Piper.
Good morning, Madam Chairman and committee. Thank you for allowing me to speak this morning. My name is Erick Piper, and I'm an elected Budget Committee representative from Bridgewater. I just completed my fourth budget cycle and have 2 years remaining on my current term. Beyond attending Budget Committee meetings and annual deliberative sessions, I follow and attend school board and building hearing sessions. In my professional life, I have a master's in finance and have spent the last 30 years in budgeting and profit center growth for several Fortune 100 companies. I'm here testifying in favor of this bill because I believe it brings new educational options to the newfound area, its students, and it can do so without increasing costs to the newfound area school district. I've communicated my opinion to our school board representative. In terms of potential finances, overall, Bridgewater, Hebron, and Groton account for approximately 15% of the student body, and the corresponding budget contribution is roughly the same amount. By creating our own district, expenses for elementary school would probably be static. Any reduction in middle school revenue could be more than offset with gains in tuition and administrative service agreement revenue. This scenario would result in little or no financial impact to the district. So the potential exists for the newfound area district to benefit from the new revenue generation by way of these tuition and service agreements. While we would hope to continue our relationship with the SAU4, ultimately a tuition agreement would largely be their decision, but we believe that it would be mutually beneficial. This bill should not adversely affect district jobs or teachers. If anything, this bill should create jobs, not reduce them. An expanded Bridgewater Hebron Groton school will need to hire several additional teachers for the 6th through 8th grades. The legislation also contains a provision for potentially offering current teachers and staff a transfer of pay and benefits. As communities, we understand and accept that creating our own district will likely increase our town's education costs. We understand that there are also many other components to running a school district beyond the building and cost concerns. So while from a facilities perspective, we've operated and maintained the school for 22 years, we also have many citizens that have been involved in all aspects of the school districts, ranging from the school board to the budget members to teachers and staff, including a former New Hampshire State Commissioner of Education. We have a very deep pool to draw from. When required, we would seek to outsource functions that would require special expertise or need economies of scale. This is part of why the bill contains a 4-year planning contingency. Our process needs to be very thoughtful and considered. In summary, we hope that the bill will not negatively impact the SAU4. It will increase educational options, and it will meet the long-delayed desires of citizens and parents of our towns. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions? Senator Lang.
I'm just going to speak to process and procedure. So so can you walk me through how you envision the voting process that has to occur? What has to happen in the towns? I'm a little concerned about the timeline that's outlined in this bill, so I'm trying to allay those concerns.
Sure, and there may be people, I'll give it a best shot.
Sure.
Some of this is interpretive on my part, but, and there may be people following me who can better answer that, but we certainly, we would certainly try, or the perception among the core group of people we've talked to is we would try to vote and form a study committee of some sort to look into more detail into the financial aspects and then the timeline aspects and what the downstream effects would be. We'd want to start engagement with either SAU4 or the Plymouth School District to look at the opportunities that we would have in both cases. At that point, I think we would have something that would be tangible and substantive enough to bring to our citizens. And with any luck, by the next, and this is purely my opinion, with any luck, by the next annual town meetings, which would be March to May, we have different meetings for different towns, March to May of next year. And if that worked, the citizens would either vote for or against it. As Jennifer said, I think there's overwhelming support in our communities for this. It's a unique opportunity. It's an exciting opportunity for us. So we would look at it that way. Following that, we would really fall into sort of a regular process of how do you separate without adversely affecting any students, without adversely affecting teachers. Again, this has to be deliberate, cautious, and all parties need to have their concerns addressed. So a timeline, you know, it could be done within 2 years, 3 years, but there are always unforeseen circumstances. I mean, something dramatic could happen, and by boxing us into a tighter time frame, let me give you a crazy what if. What do you do? Because an extended timeline could work for both parties. What if something happened to one of the schools in the current SAU4, a fire? All of a sudden, there's a shortage of, and I realize this is kind of an extreme example, but there's a shortage of space. Well, if we're boxed into an absolute withdrawal in a 2-year time frame, there's no contingency on either side. I mean, we're excited about this opportunity. We want to move forward. We don't want to delay it. On the flip side, we want to be very careful, and we want to have as much latitude as we can without adversely affecting any party. Does that help? I
just follow
may
up
be a
one question.
long-winded way of
Follow. So I guess my question is this, is that the goal would be to make the vote as soon as practicable to do it. And then from that, in that voting process, you may establish a timeline for completion of the implementation.
That would be the ideal scenario, to bring the vote as soon as we had a cogent plan together. And we want to be given enough time to look at that. There are a lot of questions involved in this. And we're dealing with young people's lives and a potential effect. So we want to be cautious and careful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir. Could you take another? I hear another question here.
Hopefully you'll be able to answer it. Mr. Racino said that there are 48 students in the school now. What has that been? Has it been pretty consistent, 48? Has there been an increase? Has there been a decrease in the student population? And it's just more of a curiosity question.
Yeah, I mean, I think we follow the general trend lines of decreasing student population. You know, the entire district is decreasing at about 1% per year. So I think if you extrapolate that, the elementary schools are tough because they peak and valley, and you know, but it has been a pretty consistent number. That's 48 kids, by the way, just from Groton going into the entire school district. But I think that we have, I think it was mentioned previously that we have a expansion capability. So if we created a K through 8, which would be the only one in the region, we would certainly be open to having students from other towns come in. I mean, it's a tremendous opportunity to offer a different kind of educational package while maintaining the current one, which is really what breeds that excitement in our towns. It's really something unique and different we can bring to the newfound area.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.